Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from New Orleans at Radio Row. Our coverage brought to you by Low T Center and Rude, who is proud to partner locally with Roscoe Brown. Dianna Russini with us from the Athletic NFL Reporter. What's up? How are you?
Hi. I am awesome, considering I went to bed at 3:30.
Yeah.
Nice. So last year when the Chiefs won, if you guys remember, cameras captured Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce right afterwards. And she'd flown across the ocean. I think she was touring in Germany. And he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you made it. You must be exhausted. And she goes, jet lag is just a mindset, baby. And so I've been using that this week.
Wow.
That Super Bowl exhaustion is just a mindset. So I'm not letting it see. It's not going to get me.
You got a force field up.
What is the exhaustion? Because breaking stories, parties,
No,
networking?
all work, because I know
Okay.
my bosses live in the Nashville area.
There you
so
go. Nothing else.
Writing, breaking news,
Yeah.
relationship management.
Yes.
But that's actually really what those parties are, as
Right.
much as like the headline of it is like Chris Stapleton, for example. I attend it, but you run into everybody and you see all the people that we work with in this space. It is the convention of the NFL. So it's a mix of work and play. I'm looking forward to having Saturday afternoon to just hang out with my girlfriends and actually tour Bourbon Street a little, because I've never done it.
I'm sure Buck Rising takes way too much of your time as well.
Well, he always wants to hang out, and I don't want to hang out with him. No. Here's the thing. It's not because Buck wants to spend time with me. He wants to take advantage of my abilities to get into parties.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
And I just I basically just finesse my way in. I'm never invited.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, hey, I'm important. I just like pretend to be something. This is why I'm wearing. So for those listening, I'm wearing a peacock-colored leopard print, which is obnoxious. But you look
it's
important.
awesome.
So people are like, oh, this person's definitely big time.
I
am so
somebody.
not so. Yeah.
So you're always getting Titans information, and we do appreciate that from a content perspective, doing what we do. You ran into Derrick Henry. He said he wants to retire Raven. Titans fans take it a certain kind of way. We all talked about, like, what else is he going to say, right?
So I think it's probably important to specify. He wants to finish his career in Baltimore. That's how he meant it. I don't think this was something where he made a decision of, when I hang this thing up, I'm definitely going to finish it and finish this as a Baltimore Raven. It meant this is my last run here, and I want to finish this in Baltimore. And he's happy. We talk so much about this offense and how it works and how Lamar has helped his game improve.
Right. Yeah.
And we're seeing a version of Derrick that we saw, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't believe he's 31.
Right.
He did not look 31 out there this year.
No. It was an incredible year.
And so we had a great conversation just about the running backs in general, how it's a timeless position that needs to be more appreciated, and it's why I think he feels so much pride in the fact that Saquon is helping the cause along with him.
Amazing what you can do when you have a offensive line
Yes.
and a quarterback that
difference.
helps out too, right?
And I think that's what's so frustrating too, and I feel for Titans fans because they're watching this, and it's just it's like watching your ex go off to somebody so much better looking and richer and all that. It's just, unfortunately, much like Saquon, the rosters are just different. And look, it doesn't mean that Derrick could not have helped the Titans. He's that type of player that can transform an offense, but I have a hard time believing he's putting up the numbers that we're seeing if he stays in Tennessee with the situation that they have there at O-line, and obviously a quarterback. Totally different type of quarterback.
It's not happening.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Okay, so obviously, Titans, lots of breaking news here in the last couple of months, an entirely different front office there, minus Chad Brinker. Your thoughts on what Miss Amy has kind of put together and Brinker has put together there?
I think they put together a brain trust of people who are all very good at one specific thing, right? So Mike Bergonzi, obviously you guys know where he comes from. In Kansas City, they have a very specific way they run that operation. He's going to be the one responsible for really looking at these players and figuring out in order who the best ones are. That will be Mike's expertise there in the front office. I think Chad Brinker will just be the overseer of all of this and just being the leader, we'll call it like the CEO, so to speak, of this front office. And I like what they're doing here. I don't know specifically what happened there at the end with Ran Carthon.
Right.
But
Were you surprised?
I was not surprised.
Okay.
I was not surprised. Only because you hear so much chit-chat coming out and around the league, talking to other teams. I knew there was a problem when I was talking to teams that wanted to do business with the Titans, and they'd share sort of who was in charge and who wasn't in charge. And I could tell the structure was not the way it looked on paper. So that threw the flag up. I was like, wait, so you're not talking to this person? So something was off there, and it's unfortunate because I know how excited the Titans organization was to have Ran, be part of them, be the face of them almost in a way, because, he has that really magnetic special quality. Right. But
he's a relationship guy.
But here's what I like too, and I give Amy credit. She pulled the Band-Aid. It's hard. It is a hard thing to do, to go, I got this wrong, especially with all the hype around Ran. Yeah. So she made the move. I think we could all probably say she's made other moves that aren't always great either. And I say the same thing about the owner in New England, to go, you know what? I picked the wrong guy. I'm going to get the right guy. Ooh. And he was able to do it. And I know that was not easy from what I hear in terms of him making that decision of, I need to admit to the world I messed up. Yeah. And now he there's the connection. Now he's got the former Titans head coach running the show up there.
With where Brian Callahan is, your thoughts outside of, we understand how you're graded. On your record that is what it is. But you look at a situation like Cliff Kingsbury, who took a step back going to OC. Do you think it may be a situation like that with Brian Callahan?
I don't. I think this was a hard first year. Yeah. Where he needed to just learn the trails. Okay. I think he learned a lot. I think there's going to be growth. I think there is already growth. Even just having conversations with him at the Senior Bowl, he's different than he was last year when I saw him at the Senior Bowl. And I think sometimes you can't teach the things you learn on the job. And now that he's gone through this first year, figured out the booby traps, figured out who he can trust, figured out how he wants this team to look and be. To me, the priority is this team needs to find identity. One of my favorite things about covering the Titans all these years is I always knew who they were. I was never confused about who the Tennessee Titans were going to be every single game. Granted, there were some games where you're like, how are you not beating the Jags? Why are you letting the Texans in this game? Right. You just beat the Chiefs last week, right? That bothered me, the inconsistency sometimes. But you just always knew when they were going to go up against a great opponent, these guys were going to find a way to win, and they were going to play smart football. Yep. I want the Titans to go back to that, but with a Brian Callahan flavor.
Dianna Russini, NFL Insider for The Athletic. So what do you think they do with that number one pick?
Ooh, it's the most common question I've been getting.
Yep. I mean, we have to ask it.
Well, I split. I go back and forth. My opinion of this, I think they go quarterback. And I think they go quarterback because this last year went so poorly, and they're unsure of whether or not Will can really get to the level Callahan really wants him to get to. I think they believe in him still. I don't think they've lost confidence. I just think they need to bring a young rookie in here that Brian can work with and put together an offense that how he sees and how he can make it the best. They'll probably trade out.
we go back and forth here.
Every day. Call me next week. I'll tell you. I'm like, they're trading out. The Giants are moving up now. I do think the New York Giants are a team that are going to call them. I think the Giants are locked in on trying to get a quarterback. So we'll see if Tennessee's going to try to, trade out, maybe find some more pillars for this team as they continue to find out who and discover who they really want to be here.
Right. So if you
then what do you do at quarterback?
Yeah. So if you decide you don't want quarterback, you trade down to 3. You get who you wanted, and there you go.
The problem is the veteran quarterbacks that are available. Yeah. It's not great. It's not great.
They all have torn Achilles.
And they're old.
And they're old.
Right.
I know the torn Achilles thing. It's just I think we've learned it is a tough injury to return from. Right?
Dianna Russini, NFL Insider for The Athletic. Thanks for sitting down. Appreciate it. Despite our relationship with Buck, we appreciate the
I am never
time.
Going on Buck's show again. This is my new show.
Yes. You hear that, Buck Rising?
There we go.
Take that, Buck.
We're coming after your people.
Buck is out. I'm in. Thanks, guys.
3HL 104.5 The Zone.